Hello, good morning, and welcome to today's episode of Modesty's Money Masterclass. And I hope you've all had a very good weekend because I did have a very good weekend myself. And I hope you've all enjoyed your Monday so far because I look forward to Mondays every day. Not everybody have the privilege of looking forward to Mondays. But if you've been a regular participant in this program, and if you've been a regular partaker of these sessions, you should be looking forward to Mondays because every Monday we gather here to educate ourselves, to talk to ourselves, to enlighten ourselves, and to talk about one of the most important things in this world, money. Right? So that's why it's called Modesty's Money Masterclass, because this whole session is centered around helping improve your relationship with money. Our relationship with money matters a lot if we are to master money and not allow money master us. So the essence of this whole education and this whole series and session that I do every Monday is to help you gain the upper hand in mastering money so that money doesn't master you. So that you become the master of your finances and not your finances controlling you and determining what you do. Okay, so this is episode number 38. And today again, we're going to be talking more about money. Remember last time we talked about the 5 laws of money, and it's been well received by a lot of people who took part in that session, and they found it very useful. Today we're going to dwell on, more stuff about money still, to still help you manage your relationship with money better. I was going to talk about investments and, steps to investments today. But on a second thought, I thought since we've spoken about the laws of money last week, let me do a follow-up session on money again, just to widen our horizon and deepen our thoughts and our knowledge about money and help us improve our relationship with it more. So today we're going to be talking about the 7 facts about money, 7 facts you need to know about money. Whether you've made money, whether you're about to make money, or whether you haven't made money. As long as you have aspiration and as long as you're alive and you come into contact with money every day, these are things you need to know, because whether you've already made money and you feel comfortable financially or you feel secure financially, whether you are aspiring for financial independence or even for financial relevance, this is still very important to you, because these facts, when you know them and you know how they apply to every level and stage of your life and your ambitions, it helps again smoothing your relationship with money and makes you a better master of money. Okay, so number 1 fact that I'm going to talk about money today that you need to know, 7 facts about money that you need to know. Number 1 fact is that there are more people desiring money than money available. There are more people desiring money than money available. So this is centered around scarcity. Money is a scarce commodity. Money is a scarce resource. Like other resources, money is scarce. Every resource that you seek to apply to create something is not unlimited. If it's unlimited, then it's not desired. But the reason a lot of people desire money is because money is scarce. It's not easy to come by. Just like gold, silver, platinum, think about all the precious metals. Think about your time. Time is precious. Think about human resources. There are very few good employees or very few good employers out there. Think about, land. Land is limited, and that's why it's desirable, and that's why it's desired. So if you have that mentality that money is scarce and you understand that money is scarce, you will know that it takes special tactics, special knowledge. It requires effort to make it, to discover it, and make it your own. And because it's scarce, when you acquire it, you realize how much responsibility you have to look after it. Because you are now in a privileged position when you make money. Because it is scarce, it then means it's not available to everybody. It's only available to those who know where to find it. It's only available to those who are able to find it. It's only available to those who have what it takes to find it and to make it. So when you find it and you make it, you treasure it, you look after it, you pamper it, and you make sure that wherever you are putting it, there is value coming out of it. And the value it brings back to you is worth it. When you know that money is scarce, you understand that it is not something that you waste. People who waste money are people who do not understand that it's a scarce commodity. And if you look at people who waste money and how they acquire the money they are wasting, you will realize that they did not acquire that money through the right means, or they are spending money that somebody else acquired and they played no part in acquisition of it. So they do not understand that money is scarce because there was not that much effort in finding it. Is that money found them by accident, or they found money through the back door? And such monies that were found through the back door always escapes through the back door. You see? But if anyone who understands the principle of scarcity in money will go through the normal route, work for it, work hard for it, make an effort to achieve it, and once they achieve it, go and see how they preserve it. Think about all the millionaires and all the billionaires that you can think of in this world. The richest men you can think of in this world. They safeguard money. When they make money, they look after it, and they make sure they don't waste it on unnecessary extravagance, unless they know that that thing has value to them. And then there is a security around the next source of that money. Because scarce resources are hard to come by. And if they are scarce and they are hard to come by, you have the responsibility of looking after them when you find them. Because when you find them and you possess them, you are one of the few privileged to have them. So some people have come through so many struggles and rigors in life to locate money, to find money, to make money. And when they understand that they came through all those rigors of life and they came through the right way to find money, you will see how they treat it. And money stays long with them. So anybody who appreciates the principle of scarcity of money and finds it the right way, they treat the money the right way, and money treats them the right way. Money rarely leaves those people because they understand that when one penny leaves your pocket, it's not very easy for that penny to come back. You see, waste is the easiest thing to do. But then accumulation and creation is one of the most difficult things to do. It's very easy to go to a nightclub and blow thousands of pounds. It feels good to spend. Somehow it feels good to waste money. You feel like you're on top of the world. The emotional attachment around wasting money. Some people just feel it's a class thing. It's a way of differentiating themselves from others about, how much money they have. It's very easy to, lavish money on jewelries, on clothing, on cars, on big houses. Feeling that you can afford something. But then one thing you have to ask is, for every £1 I spend, how difficult is it for me to get that £1 back if I were to go and make it? Some people, when they go out for their daily shifts or their daily pay, maybe their daily pay is £100. Every day they go out, they come back with £100. All right. So if you were to be spending more than £100 every day, can you see where the imbalance lies? That it takes you about say 8 or 9 hours every single day to make £100. But do you know it takes you 5 minutes to spend that £100, right? So within 5 minutes you can blow £100, but it takes you another 8 or 9 hours to make that £100 back. What does that tell you? That it's not the ease with which you waste money that you make it. So the principle of scarcity of money demands that when you make it, you look after it. It stays with you, you stay with it, and the relationship flows and lasts for a long time. That's number one fact you need to know about money. Number two fact I want you to know about money today is that money is created, not printed. Money is created where activities exist. So the second fact about money is about creation. Remember, the first one is about scarcity. The second one is creation. Money is created, it's not printed. I mean, forget about the printing and the minting of money in the central banks. So if money is printed, why don't the central banks print money and hand it out to everybody on the streets like a piece of paper? The central banks, their job, or the currency minting company, their job is to print or mint the currencies that that particular country spends, right? But what gives value to the currency that you hold on your hands is the creativity that has gone into making it come to you. The money in the central bank does not belong to you, all right? What belongs to you is the money you have created. If you do not create anything, nothing comes to you. If you don't create money, money doesn't come to you. That's why we refer to people as people who have made money. So creation and making things, you can see where that terminology is coming from. Somebody says, I've made money. This is money I made. It's because the person created an activity that generated money, that warranted money coming to the person. Money is created where human activities exist. For example, I am a mortgage broker. I'm an estate agent, right? I create money by offering services to people, where I say to people, I'm going to find you a lender who's going to help you raise funds to buy properties, whether for investment or for residential properties or for commercial properties or whatever. And then people come to me and they say, I need advice. I need you to find me a lender who will lend me money because I want to buy a property for investment. I take details and then I start. The activity has started. The conversation has started. Then there becomes an exchange of value. They now pay me in exchange for the service that I'm rendering. And that service is to go and find them a lender that is suitable for their circumstances and that will meet their objectives and their needs. You see, activity is created. And where activity is created, money is created. So if you are looking for money, go and create an activity. Create something that is of value that somebody will pay you for, and in exchange, you give them that product or that service. Money does not exist in a vacuum. I mean, I'm a Christian. I believe in the power of creativity and creation. God created the whole world, right? So the world we live in is a product of creation. And we have the ability to create money because we are creators. Every human being is a creator. You have the ability to create money. And the moment you identify a need and you prefer a solution for that need, you have created an activity that will generate you money. If you go into a place where people don't wear shoes, and you're like, wow, these people don't wear shoes here. So if I could show them the value of shoes, if I could tell them what shoe does for them, how it protects them, how it will help them not to. Hi Kay, good afternoon. Thanks for coming on, brother. How shoes will be beneficial to them. If they can see reason in that, then they are gonna buy my shoes. You go there and you supply them with shoes, and then you tell them why they need to wear those shoes. You see, sometimes the adverts that we watch on TV, the ads I watch on TV, it's just about creating a demand. All right? Now, it's not like the TV on which you're watching that advert is not good enough, right? But on that same TV, you're watching an advert advertising a different kind of television to you. And maybe they will say it's a curve HD TV. Or they'll say, oh, you will see this picture clearer in a super HD TV. You know, then all of a sudden, you begin to feel that the TV you're watching this advert on is no longer fit for purpose. You begin to think, I need a wider 75-inch TV, or I need a curved HD TV, or I need a TV with a clearer picture. It's not like the one you're watching, it is not bright or clear enough, but it's about creating demand. And because that sense of demand has been created in you, you're going on the internet and you're searching for a full HD curve TV, because you feel that's what you need to be watching your programs on. And few years down the line, another brand of TV comes out and another design comes out, and you desire it. So when you create money, you are creating a demand. You're beginning to tell people why they should do why they should patronize you, why your product is good enough for them, what you offer in your service, what stands you out. I love the question one of my clients asked me on one occasion when we were discussing how much my services are worth, and he challenged me to justify why he should pay me that much. What is unique about what you offer? I mean, why should I pay you this much? Why should I not go and pay a broker who charges less? You see, I enjoyed that challenge and I enjoyed that conversation. I then broke down to the clients what I do differently and why I am worth what I am asking him to pay me for. And at the end of that conversation, he said, yeah, I'm convinced, I'm satisfied. Let's go on, let's crack on. And I felt very satisfied that I have been able to justify my earnings, and I've been able to earn my pay. Because, I mean, you have every right as a client, as a consumer, to challenge whatever you're being asked to pay for, to make sure it's valuable. So it's about creating avenue. I remember my first business where I live here in Luton was I still do the shipping services to Nigeria, from Luton to Nigeria. But what lured me into that business was that I realized that people were taking their goods from Luton to London to go and ship them. And they were a good group, bunch of Africans and Nigerians in Luton where I lived. And I thought, so rather than the stress of these people taking their goods to London to go and ship them and send them to Nigeria, what if I gave them the convenience of not having to travel to London and say, hey, I can do that shipping for you right from here down to Nigeria. You don't need to go down to London to do it again. How about that? Fantastic. And that was how I created a business. That was how I created a service. That was how I created money. So people now brought their goods to me and said, I want to send this thing to Nigeria. And I said, fine, we can do that for you in exchange for this much. So they paid me, and I saved them the stress of having to travel all the way down to London from Luton to go and ship their goods. And then I created money, and I created a service, and I created a business. Okay? So money is a product of creation. If you don't create anything, nobody's going to pay you for anything. Nobody just hands out money to people for doing nothing except charities. And charities don't make you rich. You cannot become rich on the back of charity stipends. You cannot become rich on the back of gifts that people hand out to you. Hi Zunda, good afternoon. Thanks for coming on. So it's about creation. Money is a product of creation. If you don't create money, you don't make money. And you create money by creating activities that generate money. Wherever human activities exist, there is money to be made there. And then you monetize that activity. These days, there are so many things that people monetize. On the internet, there abound so much opportunities. People get paid for views of their contents on YouTube these days. So people create things and they upload it on YouTube and people watch them. And as people view them, they are paid for the views. That's creation. People are paid, for the amount of followers that they have on Twitter. People are paid and they get this blue tick and they get endorsements. Thanks, Izuna. Well done, sir. And they get all these endorsements by virtue of their creation because they have created a brand and their brand becomes something in demand, and then product providers pay them to market their products. My wife shops a lot through Instagram, and she relies a lot on endorsements of products, especially health-related products, by some of her mentors on Instagram, people who endorse products. Once any of our mentors endorse a product, she has confidence in that because this particular person endorsed it. And then she makes an order based on that endorsement. And then and there's been nothing that she's ordered via that endorsement that she has told me she regretted. But the person making that endorsement is making money. And that is where creation exists. That person is creating money by endorsement because that person has built his or her personal brand to be attractive enough to be an endorser of products. And as people place that order, and as they endorse that product, they get paid. Ronaldo endorses Herbalife. So many people adore Ronaldo as a footballer. And when they see Ronaldo endorse Herbalife, which is a health product, they become very confident in that product and they go on and on. So money is a product of creation. So dear friend, if you want to make money, go create an activity for which you can exchange money for, and watch how money start trickling to you and rushing into your account. Without the power of creation, everybody you are working for created an activity and employed you to be a partaker of that. Every rich person you can think of in this world, think about Amazon. Think about the service that Amazon provides. And think about the vacuum that he has been able to fill by virtue of his services. Think about Microsoft. And think about the creativity that went in. Think about Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. These guys sat down and they felt people needed stuff. And they started creating what people needed. And managed to convince you that you needed that thing. Okay? So you have to create it, and you've got to justify the value of that thing before you start monetizing it. Number 3 fact about money that you need to know is that money brings responsibility to its possessors. So number 3 fact is responsibility. With money comes responsibility. The moment you make money and start acquiring money, just bear in mind that it comes with responsibility to its possessors. You don't just acquire money and then assume that you are free of the responsibility that comes with money. First of all, the money you make, you have a responsibility towards your family, your immediate family, right? Your immediate family has to be the first consideration in terms of the responsibility that lies on your shoulder when you create and you make money. If money doesn't solve the problem that the financial problem that lies, I don't mean every problem, I mean the financial problem that lies in your family. If money doesn't solve it, if the money you make doesn't solve that problem, and then you keep on solving problems elsewhere, and you don't start, so it's about prioritizing those responsibilities. And the priority should be, first of all, your immediate family. Look after your children. If you've got a spouse, look after your wife. If you've got a husband, look after your husband. Make sure your family is comfortable. The reason you get out of bed every single day is to make sure your immediate family is well looked after. So some people make money, but they don't understand the responsibility that comes with it. And therefore, they allow the money they've made to control them. And they don't use that money they don't put it to a responsible use. And they think that the money they have made is simply meant for them to intimidate others, or just for them to oppress people, or just for them to show people that they have arrived and then make people feel less of a human. When you make money, you are expected to treat people with respect and to treat money with respect. The responsibility that comes with money demands that as somebody who has money in his or her possession, you are meant to solve problems with that money, not create problems with them. I know of one rich man in my country, Nigeria, who said that he has made so much money that the money he's now making is the money he wants to use to make trouble. You see, that's the sort of mentality that some people have when they've got so much money and they don't understand the responsibility that comes with it. He said he has made so much money that he's so comfortable that the next flow of cash that comes to him now is just one that he uses to make trouble. And some people go about with this sense of responsibility in their heads, without sense of responsibilities. You look around you, there are problems that the money can solve. You know, I was listening to a very wise advice on video, I think it was a couple of days ago, of one guy. He was speaking this in my native language, in Igbo language. And he was talking about how much it costs these days for burial ceremonies that happens in Igbo land or in different parts of Nigeria, and even maybe in different parts of Africa or in certain parts of the world. So he was concerned about how much people are spending to bury the dead. And he was worried about those. And he said that COVID-19 has taught us that burial costs shouldn't actually be as expensive as we make it. It shouldn't be as exorbitant as we make it. That it shouldn't cost us as much money as we spend on burials, because COVID has taught us that people can die and a few people can gather and bury them and then disappear. Because these days with COVID-19, it's a very limited crowd, a very limited number and capacity of people that are allowed to come and bury the dead. So it's actually possible that the dead can rest in peace without all the fanfare and all the cows being slaughtered and all the canopies and all the musicians and all the parties that goes with it. And he was of the opinion that why don't people save some of that money and use it to set some people up in business? Get a database of youths who are unemployed in your locality. If you are going to spend 10 million naira, for example, in Nigerian currency, for that burial, why don't you take that 10 million, just a little out of it, enough for the burial and the few people that will come to bury the person, and then use the rest to set people up in business. You are creating more value. You are taking more responsibility with the money you have than just wasting it on burial ceremonies. So these are examples of places where people are financially reckless. And then at the end of the day, it comes back to bite them. And I'm telling you that even in burial, some people borrow to bury the dead. I mean, how stupid does that sound? That you borrow, or some people even sell land. They sell assets, they sell their prized assets so that they can impress the living people who are coming to bury the dead. And then after that, they now go back to their suffering mode. That is stupidity at its apex. So, responsibility that comes with making money demands that you look around you and find where best to slot that money into and how best to use that money to lift humanity, starting from your immediate family. And then you will take on that responsibility and you find out that your relationship with money improves by you realizing what you are actually meant to use and put it to a better use. That's number 3. Number 4 fact that you need to know about money is that money brings about positional and relationship change between its possessors and their friends and families. So here it's about relationship. Yeah? Social relationships. Money brings about positional and relationship change between its possessors and their friends and families. Listen, there is no need pretending about it. When people make money, their social status changes and their relationship with certain people changes. It's a fact, right? When people make money, their preferences, their tastes, their desires, and the kind of circle they build around them begin to change. I mean, I'm sure you can name 1 or 2 people around you who you know that your relationship with them have changed since their social status improved by virtue of them becoming a lot more financially comfortable. People tend to drift far away from certain people the richer they become, and they drift closer to certain people the richer they become. Their circle of influence changes. These things are, societal facts that we cannot run away from. Even you watching me, I'm sure. But if you make a certain amount of money now, your social status will change. Your social circle will change. It's something that comes with money. It's not something that, sometimes people do it unconsciously. There is a certain amount of money you make, you become so rich to a certain point that it's not every call you'll be picking, because not every call matters to you anymore. In fact, it's not even everybody you give out your number anymore. It's not everybody you're allowed to know where you live. It's not everybody you even give out your business card to know exactly, where your office is and all that. You begin to shut the door on some people and you begin to open the door to other people. The only thing constant in life is change. And money brings about this kind of societal relationship change or social relationship change. Even your own family people will start protecting you the moment you become kind of, financially advanced. If you travel abroad, for example, and then you leave people back home, and then somebody comes to maybe your mom and say, hey, I would like to talk to Ikenna. Can I please have Ikenna's number? I'm sure my mom will want to know, why do you want my son's phone number? I mean, what's the discussion or what's the relationship? Why do you want this? She'll be a little bit protective because she thinks, well, I don't really understand. I don't know the purpose, of this, because she feels that number is not meant to be given out to everybody. It's natural. Your friends, who are your friends when you get rich, they won't even hand your numbers out to people anyhow. I mean, there are certain rich people I would like to talk to, these days, but I don't have their contact details. I don't have their email addresses. I don't have their phone numbers, but I would like to talk to them. But then, because I don't belong in their social circle, I don't have access to them. And even if I know someone who has access to them, they will think it or they will obtain the person's consent before they give me access to the person. It is natural. So when people react like that, don't take it against them. Right? Do not count it against them. All you've got to do is that you've got to understand that they are only naturally reacting to how money makes people behave. Money brings behavioral change in people, and some of them are social. And this is one of the many areas where just know that it's natural. Because if you find yourself in their position, you will do the same thing. If you find that not very many people, when they get rich or when they make money, not very many people still remember their very childhood friends with whom they were struggling and hustling and doing some menial jobs. Not many people still carry them along, unless those people have been traveling at the same pace as them and then they meet at the top. Not very many people do that. Few people even remember their old girlfriends when they make money. And few of them go back to marry their old girlfriends when they make money, because they feel they've worked hard together, they've suffered together, and they deserve to enjoy together. Not many people do that. Some people, when they get rich, the taste of the woman they want changes. So they might see that their old girlfriend as too local, unpolished, uneducated. I mean, where I am now, can I proudly present her as a wife? I don't think so. Well, I can compensate her for her time. I can pay her off. I can set her up on business. But marriage, nah, I don't think it's going to work. That is how people behave. Don't take it out against them. It's one of the things that money does to people. Because there's no guarantee that if you find yourself in that position, you will not do exactly the same thing. All I'm talking to you today is the facts that you need to know about money. So that when you make money, you will be in a better position to manage your relationship with money. So number 4 we mentioned is relationships. Number 5 fact about money that you need to know is that money brings with it fear. Yeah? Yes. Money brings with it fear. Some people think that money brings security. Yes, to some extent. But money brings along with it some element of insecurity. If you get in the circle of rich people, you find out how vulnerable they also feel as human beings. And you realize why they pay so much attention to security. Some of them travel with security guards, some travel with bodyguards, some travel with police escorts, some travel with some kind of protection that they feel. It's because they feel vulnerable. That is what money comes with. Money brings with it fear, insecurity. But one of the biggest insecurity that money brings along with it is the fear of losing the money. It's not even fear of, I don't want to focus so much on fear of being killed or fear of being attacked. The fear of losing the money is one of the biggest fears that money brings with it. So many people, when they get rich, their biggest worry is how to remain at that level. Because the fear of dropping from that level to any level lower than that or even further lower than that scares them to death. Especially people who know where they are coming from. And they look back and they say, I never ever want to see myself in that situation again. I never ever want to see myself picking things from the bins. I never ever want to see myself on barefoot. I never ever want to see myself with just one top and one short for 1 week. I never ever want to see myself doing this menial work under this hot sun. I never ever want to see myself denying myself of sleep and not waking up when I want to wake up, and I have to wake up because I've got to go to work this early even when it's chilling and it's cold. I never want to. There are certain things that scares them when they make money. And trust me, it's going to scare you when you make money. And that's going to show you that people who make money don't really make money and then they feel secure. Money comes with its own insecurity. So how to deal with that insecurity that money brings will go a long way in determining how far that money stays with you. If you choose to live with the fear that money brings and do everything you do simply in reaction to the fear and the insecurity that comes with money, you will lose that money very quickly. But the best way to deal with the insecurity that money brings is to maintain your focus and to continue to live every day based on the reason you desired money in the first place. If you don't lose your why, if you don't lose your focus, you will not lose your money. You will start losing money when you start losing your focus. Some people, when they become rich, they start making some risky investments because they feel they have a few pounds to spare and a few pounds to throw about. The very thing, the very essential basic thing that brought them to where they are, they throw it out of the window. They throw caution out of the window. Before they made money, they used to research every investment and make sure it was worth it before they went into it. Before they made every investment, they performed their due diligence to find out who they're investing with, who the company is, who is behind it, what are they doing, what are their track records like before they put money into it. Before they invest in anything, they made sure that their capital was protected and that the risks were minimized and that there was enough insurance around it. All these basics they threw out of the window. And then when they make money, they now begin to make reckless investments. They throw all those basics out of the window and then money starts disappearing. So if you continue to live in reaction to the fear and insecurity that money, and some of them are making all those risky investments because they are reacting to the fear of losing the money. They are like, okay, let me make this investment because I don't want this money to waste. I don't want to lose this money. I'd rather just invest it. So any opportunity that comes their way, they throw money at it. Because they are reacting to the fear. They are reacting to the insecurity that money brings. They lost focus on why they even tried to make money in the first place. So the best way to react to the fear that money brings, especially the fear of loss of your wealth, is to keep the focus. The things that brought you, the fundamentals that brought you as far as you've come, keep those fundamentals intact and keep working with them. That's why a lot of people, when they find out that they are drifting, you hear them say, let me go back to the basics. Going back to the basics will save you a lot, when you begin to lose your focus. Okay? Number 6 facts that you need to know about money is that money brings power and the ability to do many things, both good and bad. I'm sure you'll agree with me that money comes with a lot of power. People who control the world we live in today are people who have made money. They may not be in position of power, they may not even be in politics, but they are behind, running things, controlling things, making kings, dethroning kings, dictating things. Enormous power comes with money. And such power that you can use it both for good and for bad. But it's your choice to make whether you want to use the power that money has given you for good or for bad. Some people go about snatching people's assets and properties because they have more money than they do. Oh, I want that piece of land and I'm going to get it at all costs, no matter what it takes. Hey, my lawyer drafts a proposal for the owner of the land. If they refuse, take them to court. Let's sort it out in court. Just, find something and, label some kind of allegation against them and let's sort it out in court. Then they go to court, they buy the judges and the judgment goes their way and then that's it. While some people use the money that they have to do very, very good things. When you hear, I've heard so many conspiracy theories about Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation and all that. Some people saying, that they want to control the population of the world, or some people say they are the Antichrist. That they are the Antichrist. And all. For God's sake, come off your stupid mentality and read. A lot of people who are spreading these rumors and who are spreading these fallacies have not spent 1 minute researching on what Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation are doing. What is it? They just go and watch a few YouTube videos and then they start spreading fallacies without any kind of research. But go and see how much billions this foundation is sinking into health and wellness and well-being of people. No matter what you think about those, think about the good things that they have used that money for. Think about the people that they have been able to affect their lives by helping them eradicate tuberculosis and some other killer diseases, especially in the African regions. So you think about all the foundations that all these rich men have and all these wealthy men have that they are putting towards a very good use. You go to some communities, you see people who have made money and they have formed a foundation and they're using to sponsor people, giving them scholarships, setting people all up on businesses, building houses. I know of a rich man in my village who on his 70th birthday, he built about 7 houses for people who have no homes or who have no house in their place. That's how to use money for good use. Because money brings enormous power to you. What do you use that power for? For oppression or for redemption? Right? It's your choice. Because the money hands you the power. And nobody questions what you use that power for. It's you who decides what you use that power for. So some people have defined themselves as monsters. And they are blaming money for making them money. Money didn't make you monster. When you made money, money came with what it comes with. Everybody who's made money has the same thing that you have, the power. So what you did with your power is your responsibility. It's not money. It's you who decided what you did. Because money cannot come to you without its attributes. And one of the attributes it comes with is power. So what you do with that power is up to you. So when you are making money, and that's where it goes to, again, the purpose. Why do you want to become rich? Why do you want to make money? Is it just because you want to make money so that you can, be able to oppress people? No. You've got to decide what you've got to use that power for oppression or for redemption. The choice is yours. Number 7, and the last fact I need to talk to you about money is that money brings opportunities. Money brings opportunities. So number 7 fact is opportunity. Number 6 is power, which I've just talked about. Number 5 is insecurity. Number 4 is relationship. Number 3 is responsibility. Number 2 is creation. Number 1 is scarcity. So we're talking about number 7 now, which is money brings opportunities. Trust me, when money comes to your hands, there will be 1,000,001 ideas in your hands, in your head, of what you can use that money for. There will be 1,000,001 proposals on your table, investments. There will be 1,000,001 visits. You will receive enormous amounts of phone calls introducing you to enormous business opportunities that promises enormous returns. You will become confused. Okay, that's why people who make money and they don't want to take care, they don't want to expose themselves to all that level of confusion. They just hire investment advisors and they pay them. So whenever you bring an investment proposal and advice, they just forward it to their investment advisors. And those ones wear a cooler hat than the person who owns the money. Then they take their time to analyze every single bit of that investment proposal, and then they make a proposal and advice to the man to say whether it's worth investing in or not, because they've analyzed the risks that are involved. So I would advise you to do the same. All right? If you're too confused about the opportunities that this money has brought to your table, and if you do not have the time or the capacity or the mentality to analyze all of those investments, get an investment advisor. Talk to a financial accountant. Talk to a financial advisor. Seek advice from finance professionals and say, hey, what do you think about this opportunity? Somebody just introduced it to me. It might be something that they have come across before. It might be it might be a Ponzi scheme, it might be something that's fraught with so many frauds and loopholes. And the moment you get in touch with it, they say, hey, don't even go there. We have seen this before, and this is how it turned out. Okay? This is not the kind of investment you should be getting, into. So money comes with enormous opportunities, because the more money you have, the more buying power you have, the more capacity you have to operate. And that capacity is enlarged because you have what we call economy of scale. Right? Economy of scale means that you can buy a bulk of things at a reduced cost because of the capacity you have. Because of the capacity you have, you can negotiate better deals and better rates because you have the power to acquire things in bulk. Money comes with enormous opportunities that you can buy businesses that are already established. You don't need to go and start building them from the scratch again. But because you have money and that business is up for sale, and if it corroborates what you do, and if it's something that supports your already existing business, you can go ahead and buy it. For example, I am a mortgage broker. If I didn't have an estate agency, and somebody said, oh, I've got an estate agency business that I want to sell, and the person comes to me and said, are you interested in buying my estate agency? I will study that estate agency business and say, okay, as a mortgage broker, I advise people and I help them get mortgages to buy properties. So if I have an estate agency where we sell people's properties, so people who come to buy those properties will need a mortgage. Therefore, there is a mortgage service in-house to offer them that service. Boom, that's an opportunity, and then I can go and buy that business because it supports my already existing business. You see? Or if I want to expand my business horizon and diversify it a little bit, and then somebody says, well, I've got a restaurant I want to sell, and maybe I've been wanting to get into the hospitality industry, but I haven't got the technicalities to run it. But somebody says, I have a restaurant to sell, and I'm happy to remain part of the management until it stabilizes. Fantastic. I want to expand. This person has got experience. The business established. There are already established customer base. All I need to do is to add value to it, repackage it, and make it a thriving business. Boom. I go. The reason I could do that was because I have money. So money brings about with it opportunities. So when you've got money, instead of looking for where to spend them, look for the opportunities that money has created for you and take advantage of that opportunity, because that is what money comes with. The same opportunity money has presented you, it has presented to someone else. So the difference between what you do with your money, the difference between how much progress you make and where you head to and the other person, is the decision you have made on the opportunities that money had presented the both of you. Money hasn't presented this person better opportunity than you. You both have opportunities. It may be in different sectors, but if each person takes the advantage and the opportunity that money brings for them, it goes on and does them a world of good. So folks, those are the 7 things and 7 facts that I would like you to know about money today. Okay? So just a recap of those 7 facts. Number 1 is about scarcity. That money, there are more people who desire money than money that's available. Number 2 fact is about creation. The money is created, it's not just printed. Money exists where human activities are created. Number 3 fact about money is about responsibility. That money brings responsibility to its possessors. Number 4 fact is around relationships. That when people make money, it's a fact that their relationship with either friends and family might change. Number 5 fact that money brings with it fear is around insecurity. So when money comes, it brings in with insecurity, and you deal with it best by keeping your focus. Number 6 fact that you need to know about money is around power. That money brings with it enormous power. But what you do with that power, whether good or bad, is your responsibility. And number 7, last but not the least fact, is that it's about opportunities. Money brings opportunities. And grab those opportunities while you can. Take care. God bless you. And please stay safe and stay alive. See you again next week. And remember, hey, on Wednesday, I'll be back here to talk about mortgages in our mortgage masterclass. See you again then. Bye now.